Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my friends on the wobbly Earth ship. Welcome to my Alchemy podcast, where if you're tired of not being in charge of your life, well, you're welcome here each Sunday as we delve into ideas of how to become the Master Alchemist of your own life. I'm Cindy Carter, an intuitive, an artist, an energy healer, and a spirit consultant. This series of Alchemy podcasts each Sunday, it's really just a place to come if you're interested in self-awareness and self-responsibility, beyond all the New Age concepts and misdirections. This is concise and clear information to build on every week. Go back and listen to the others. They're all extremely relevant. Gain a new understanding of yourself and your ability to be a master alchemist of your own life. So last podcast, we talked about Mother Source. We did take a good look at our source. It was Mother's Day, and we looked at the source of all energies, of all ideas, and all frequencies. We looked at our alignment with our Mother Source, which then, allows our auric field to align with kind of like a true north, you might say. We're all life. We're all filled with source, and that becomes about growth and expansion and understanding. When we allow the Mother Source to act through us, all things change, all things transmute. It's called alchemy. It would be a challenge to just allow Source to work through the body without our next discussion, because believe me, when Source wants to run through your body, it will. But Kundalini awakenings are not the nicest things. So we can bring this in a more conscious way, in a more superconscious way, where we get to direct our own awakening. This is where you teach yourself how to remember through your body the source within you. So this podcast today is called Spiritual Cleaning House. It's that time on the fake calendar again. Spring and summer are really my favorite times of year. It's time to clean house. I like cleaning house. I like doing it, etherically, metaphorically, but also physically. Cleaning house, I know all of you are going to, mops and pans and buckets and, Windex. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about cleaning spiritual house. Cleaning the stagnancy from the long winter, the slow pace, the bound up ideas. It's spring and we need to take notice. We need to take heed to what's occurring in and around us. So we need to really be aware of our nature, of our existence, of our walk on the earth. And that may often mean that we need to clean our energy. Clean in and of and around us. It's a natural way to live, to bring clarity, new clear spaces right to your life, to your existence today. So let us not forget our interior house, our body and our mind spaces. These are the places where we hold our pretty concrete ideas, our creations, our agreements, our relationships with ourselves, and our pretty warped relationships with others. We need clean, vast space within a body and a mind, within an auric field and a Merkaba, this cosmic vehicle you decided to bring your incarnation to. This is the vehicle of life. It has to plug in and plug down into the earth. Can't do that when it's full of mud. We have to clean the area, clean our minds, clean our auric fields. There are vast spaces, voids of creation within you that are waiting. But they're so seldom enacted or embodied or enlivened in the cells. The intention of the superconscious mind or the will center, the solar plexus, to clean the house, to take inventory and decide what you're keeping in your body and what you would not like to have there. Decide what you're going to keep within your mind, and then let the rest of that, be transmuted. If you have recurring ugly thoughts, instead of just wishing them away and hoping you're better the next day, maybe you could transmute that thought by looking at that thought and saying how ugly that thought is and finding the antithesis of that. That's what life is about. When people realize they can obtain a higher thought and higher, more peaceful mind beyond their really limited views and their limited thoughts, we'll have a world that's inclusive. A cleaner space for everyone. Inclusivity would sure, alleviate a whole lot of hate that's happening right now. I call this time on Earth the Great Divide. You can go back to that podcast called The Great Divide and hear a little bit more about the Great Divide. It's a process. It's a program. It's happening. We can't ever come to consensus if we're continually divided. So our controlled media, our controlled religions, our soon-to-be non-controlled government have been dividing you physically, mentally, emotionally through religion, class, race, borders, color, education, your origin. So this divide is what keeps our space muddy and our ability to connect in a loving way to one another or even ourselves super muddy. No clear ground to stand on right there. See if you can find it. So the only thing that's left is to find a clear foundation within you. That's why we become alchemists. That's why we incarnated on an earth that's pretty volatile, not to take on the volatility, but to bring heaven through earth, as above, so below. This is alchemy. When people realize that most of their thoughts are negative attributes of their shadow selves, we'll have a cleaner space. When people realize that the stuff coming out of their mouth is just a repeat of their childhood trauma or past life trauma, they might stop and look at a cleaner space. When people realize the ridicule of others, either voicing it or even in their mind, it creates an electrical sludge that I can see with my eyes. I can see with my hands. And many, many other people on this earth can. This electrical sludge is like electrical wires, like Christmas lights that are all tangled up, and they create this dark sludge in and around your body. Some people just, throw those old Christmas lights in the basement and leave them there, all tangled up. Other people will untangle them. Those jumbled lights in your auric field, they're like the ugly thought you just had about your neighbor, or the grocery store guy, and the homeless person on the street. Ugly words spewing from the mouths of the divided ones, the misguided ones, the ones that have bought into the control and allowed the trauma to overtake them, and now they see only from the trauma. This is part of the false reality that many are living. Coming back to the mother source, the source of all things, the ever-presence of yourself, is what is required. Not hating other humans, not degrading them, not judging them, continually and thoroughly, and with what you feel is your justification. It's going to keep you separate from an inclusive world that has really big, huge, vast spaces of cleaner space. When you reach a vast area of cleaner space within your mind, you'll see how misaligned so many humans are. It takes you out of judgment, and it brings you into inclusivity. It's almost like there's two holographic worlds playing out right now. at the same time, where one has a complete view of the vast, open, loving spaces filled with life and love, and another seems to see the same space as an empty or void of life, or filled with the traumas of their past, filled with space that could be, if they chose, a vast open space that's clean and clear. That's what a cell wants. That's what a spirit wants. It's what a body and mind really does want as clarity. And when we look at the body and its auric health, the auric field and its health, its mental health, well, how muddy is the aura? How muddy is the mind? We're not looking for perfection here. But if you can't see the thing that's happening with you, how can you transmute it? See it. Don't judge it. And don't judge yourself for having the ugly thought. You were programmed, remember? You were taught to believe that. So when you come into a clean house, you clear out this mind of abuse. If you've overcome all kinds of darkness, and now you stand above others in your hollow victories, there's the idea of superiority over others. And it makes your space really dirty too. It makes your energy dirty. If this is you, then you might not be included when peace and love and freedom will be felt by so many humans across this world. We are experiencing these bouts of peace and love and freedom because we are feeling cosmic nature through our body, because we don't have dirty auras. We don't have sludge and distraction in our field. We are focused on Source and bringing that through to this incarnation. It's certainly time to clean your house if you feel superior over others. To clean your body and your mind if you ever want an incarnation of peace here on this earth or this earth ship. You can wish to be a better person. You can hope to be clearer, but you must practice it every day, every moment. Redirect yourself when things get dirty. You must do it. You must be it. You must be joy and kindness, even to those that you have put beneath you. You are no better than any other human on this earth, period. I don't care your struggles, your bank accounts, or your triumphs, your alliances with others. What about the kindness to yourself and the kindness to others? What about the love from your heart to another without conditions, without your rules? This is clearing the body and mind. Truly doing this is the practice, the great work of spiritual cleaning house. Not as easy as it sounds. Often the rhetoric in our heads, the volumes of bull that was pushed onto our minds is processed through past life and intergenerational traumatic past. So great. We get all this clarity that comes as mud. Now your sight is dim. Now the mind is narrow and the ego is large. This is where the heart has shut down. Literally. The energy of the heart has shut down. It's decided not to play today. Because the solar plexus gets to take center charge, center stage. Solar plexus, like right here, top of your belly, below your rib cage. This is where we have all this rebellious will to feel justified, self-righteous, because you've lived so much strife that you're allowed to speak to others any way you want. That you're allowed to be hateful because you have earned the right, because you're a hard worker or you're, a good person. And they're not. Again, you've divided them. See, this is all part of the free will mistake that goes on here on earth. The power center of self-centeredness is not really compassion. It's more like self-righteousness, creator God status. What we're looking for is divine will, not free will, where the will center, the power, is merged with the heart. It's heart-based. Heart-based decisions are way different than solar plexus power center decisions. When the heart is activated in the body and in the mind and in the auric field, our life transforms away from the muddy mind, away from the degrading of others to make yourself feel bigger and more accomplished. By not degrading a segment of society, say a segment that has brought this false narrative that the fake mass media has projected onto them, if you choose not to degrade another soul being, a sentient life force, any form of that, choosing not to degrade one being at all, clears the aura. It's about forgiving ourselves in some respect for any and all degrading thoughts and ideas we have had in the past, or currently, or will have in the future. This is about transmutation, not judgment. This is about being self-directed, self-actualizing, mature spiritual adults. You may want spirituality and you may want ascension. You may want healing, but you have to tote water and chop wood to actualize the energy that's floating like sludge around you. You have to tote it to cleanse it. Chop up the pieces and let them dissipate. Do the work it takes to achieve clarity and a clear space. You can't wait for it to happen around you. The universe only brings when you have toted and carried your own weight for your own clear space. So see through the veils of this deception that's called a society that, kind of created your own mud. So it's time for you to create your own clear space within this so-called society. No matter what's happening around you, you can choose to obtain a clear space without drama, without strife, without allowing your past directions to dictate your future. There are a lot of supplies that are needed to clean house. So I think I'm going to rattle off about 12 of them. Maybe I'll add this 12 to the list on the YouTube so you don't have to write them down even. Aren't I nice? Here's some supplies to clean your house. Really, these are things you need. And if you don't have them, you're going to have mud in your auric field. It's going to be hard to ground any goodness in your life. Universe can't match you if you don't have, one, an open mind. The fastest conduit to cleaning up and redirecting your thoughts, an open mind. Number 2, non-judgment. This means not judging yourself or another person. In the universal codes of conduct, basically you're no better than any life form. So why would you judge another? This is a high teaching that many find themselves mired in, stuck in. Because even in New Age teachings, there is complete judgment. In religion, there's complete judgment. So let's have some non-judgment. Number 3, erase superiority. To overcome fear of being seen as weak, some people seek superiority. When we erase this idea of being better than another, we'll be able to create some clean space. 4, inclusivity. All life was meant to be inclusive, honorable, respectful, and inclusive. Try that with your enemy. But remember, compassion has boundaries. Respectful, inclusive actions can be done from afar. Being part of the one also means inclusivity. Embodying source, the one, is being inclusive, compassionate, with boundaries for all sentient life. 5, love for all sentient life. This sacred space of the heart is the remembrance of you as a spirit, of you as a continuing life force, as you as God. you as all the Jesuses you can think of, all the Annas and Buddhas and Devas in your heart, as love for yourself and love for all of life. This supply is crucial for ingredients to clean your house. If you don't have a good supply of this, all the rest of the work that you do will be without purpose, without direction, and without the passion of your intention. You are the intention of the sacred space of the heart, so be that. Go ahead, no matter what, let your heart open, let your heart love. No more walls. 6, understanding that you are part of God's source. This is like the ticket to the show. If you don't get this, the floor will always be slippery in your house. Always be muddy. 7, this is a big one. See your trauma, process it, and reframe it. When you stop justifying, when you stop and deal with your trauma from the past, and you learn to process it differently, and you gain a new perspective, you can reframe how it affects you. You can reframe how you receive information in the cellular body, in your mind. And you can transmute that as an alchemist, so it no longer affects you. It's possible. We do it every day as alchemists. Number 8, stop blaming others. Stop seeing the problems of others. My Lord, you've got glasses that are pretty thick that you see every problem with every person. You know that this is only to displace another being and give you reason for your bad behavior, right? To blame somebody else is just displaced emotional anger or abuse. You could be the victim in this role when you blame another. Always look at the role that you're taking. This is your movie on the Earth ship, not somebody else's. This is your alchemy. Number 9, forgive yourself. Compassion. It really is the missing link to the auric field, the grounding of the body so that you are comfortable in your mind, in your emotions, comfortable living here on earth, in this body. It requires compassion. It requires self-love. When you love yourself so much, you will create perfect and positive boundaries for all information coming to and from you. You'll be able to assist yourself and many with this kind of foundation. It's a key ingredient, compassion. It's the heart science that I speak of often. Number 10, love yourself. Sounds easy, huh? Not so easy sometimes when you have judging thoughts and bad ideas. We need a little bit of deeper compassion to love ourselves, to build the foundation of us. Is like always having a cleaning crew on hand, cleaning up the aura. When you have compassion for yourself, the cleaning crew comes in and goes, you just had a really ugly thought. That's okay. Remember, you're human. Clean it up. Good. Move on your way through the clear and vast space. Number 11, enjoy. Enjoy just to enjoy. Love just to love. Well, this part is the toting and the chopping. You see, if you bring joy and love to the toting and chopping, the doing of your life, the movement of this process, the practice of your spirituality, the bringing of your God source, it becomes filled with ease and grace. Number 12, create. Create in joy. Just create. It opens the centers of the auric field that hold stagnant and sludgy energy. It alters the brain-heart pathway, that zone, some people call it. Just create. Create a space. Create an artwork. Create a moment. Create a sound. Create a frequency. Create joy. Create peace. This is alchemy. And higher vibration allows lower vibration to leave the body, the mind. Clearing vast space. Bring passion back to your life. Live a life, not a death. So these are the elements of a clean house, of a clean mind, of an electrical body and an auric field that's got vast space. Cleaning house can be swift and sure if you add some grace and ease. And I do have something that can help you with that. It's an activation called the Template of Grace. It's an 11-day meditation series that becomes an activation of grace. It kind of propels you through a process like steps 1 through 12 in a very similar way. It's on my website. I'll be announcing some dates. Actually, I'm announcing the dates right now. I'm going to be teaching 2-day workshops in Reno, Nevada and Bend, Oregon, June 8th and 9th and 15th and 16th, then 3rd and 4th, I think. Look at my website. Everything is on Eventbrite. I'll be having an alchemy class also. So in the next few weeks, just look for more information. You can find me here also in the Asheville, North Carolina area, where I'll be having a workshop in July. This workshop is really a modality of energy healing that's really powerful. I do this with my clients. It's a high level of compassion in releasement of energies that realigns your body and your mind back into harmony. And anyone can learn this for themselves or as a modality. It's a certification course, and you can find some more about it there on Eventbrite or my website. But again, let us all do what's required to have clean and clear auras, clean and clear cellular bodies, so that our DNA can transmute to a more peaceful existence on this earth. And my gratitude to all of you that are going through a thorough and graceful cleaning of your house. Many blessings.